Breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
And that breaking news here in the 8 o'clock hour involves a deadly shooting in Durham. Police spent nearly 8 hours at that scene near Holloway Street. What we know about the victim and the investigation so far.
And tracking two systems. Interestingly enough, the graphic has changed on its own to just a low pressure system for Umberto. I'll let you know what's happening to that storm and Imelda too coming up.
And protests on campus. Chapel Hill students are gathering today in support of a professor put on leave. The accusations against him and the concerns over free speech. October 1st here, we're happy to welcome you in on this Wednesday morning. I'm Laura Levine.
And I'm Ken Smith. October 1st already.
Here we are.
Goodness. Hopefully we'll start to feel like falling a little bit. Let's get back over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center, tracking those two big storms in the Atlantic.
Yeah, still watching Hurricane Imelda. It's likely to become Category 2 and have some pretty big impacts to Bermuda. This is Umberto, or at least it was. I'm waiting on the 8 o'clock advisory to come in. It looks like potentially it has lost its tropical characteristics, but we'll keep an eye on that and let you know. For us, we're going to start here. Dual Doppler 5000 radar. A lot of cloud cover out there this morning. Earlier, just south of Raleigh, we had a few sprinkles. Right now, most of that's showing up a little closer to the coast, and we should see improving conditions. No heavy rain, steady rain for you this morning. We're going to keep that 20% chance in just for the next couple of hours to cover the bases, but we're looking at some brightening skies as we get through the afternoon. Looking at a 60 to 70%, or looking at 60 to 70% of the sky covered with clouds later this afternoon. That means more clouds than sun, but at least we should see a few breaks. As a matter of fact, a little bit of sunshine starting to light up the buildings here in North Hills right now, where it is 65 degrees, and our dew point's a very comfortable 56. Hour by hour forecast, feeling comfortable this afternoon with mid to upper 70s. The big thing that we're talking about next is some colder temperatures in the morning. I'll show you what it'll feel like tomorrow, Ken.
Elizabeth, we still have some lingering congestion on I-40 westbound coming in from Garner, Johnston County this morning. There was a crash near the I-40, I-440 interchange there in southeast Raleigh, and you can see what I'm talking about. That heavy congestion still stretched all the way back to maybe Highway 70 this morning. So if you're coming in from Garner, Johnston County, you're getting ready to head into the car this morning, I would recommend taking Highway 70 as an alternate route because you're looking at a 13-minute delay. If you're staying on I-40 westbound, you're getting over to Lake Wheeler Road, that southern loop of the Beltline, you're looking at a 9-minute delay as well. And that's what it looks like right now, that bumper traffic coming through. Many of you use the northern section of the Beltline. Well, here's what you got. You got a 10-minute delay there as well between the I-87, 440 interchange all the way over to Wade Avenue. But once you get past Glenwood Avenue, it's clear sailing all the way to Wade Avenue. So keep that in mind. If you're not in any rush this morning, nothing I think that's going to make you late. Over in Durham, I-885 has been a real trouble spot this morning. Going into Durham, you're looking at a 7-minute delay. Similarly, you're coming out of Durham, you're looking at a 7-minute delay as well. You're getting ready to head into the car. We'll keep you tuned in on the radio 101.5 HD3. We'll keep you updated.
New this morning, a shooting in Wake Forest has turned deadly, and a suspect is due in court today charged with murder. Court records show Harrison Urena Morales was arrested last night. It all played out near Mill Dam Road and Winter Jasmine Lane. Neighbors tell WRAL they heard around 5 shots and saw someone outside the window. A woman was taken to the hospital where she later died. We are working to learn more about this situation. Breaking news now in Durham. Police are investigating a deadly shooting this morning. Police say it all happened just before midnight near Holloway Street. And that's where we find Ali Katlabar in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. And Ali, police were there for nearly 8 hours.
They just wrapped up within the past 30 minutes, Laura, and this is the house that they have been investigating all morning. They even had metal detectors out here just trying to sort through evidence and investigate, trying to figure out what happened. Here's a look from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker around 2 a.m. That's when we saw officers investigating this home. Durham police say that a young man was shot and killed at this house on Lathrop Street around midnight. Now, we spoke with a neighbor. He was in his car in his driveway when this all happened. He says he's shocked that something like this happened so close to his house.
I mean, it's getting closer and closer to my house. Like, normally, at least down the street, but, you know, like, if I would have just got out of my car just a little bit sooner, I could have been me. You know, brace your heart, you know, and it's like for what?
He says he saw multiple unfamiliar cars parked outside in front of outside on the street here. We're working to find out the identity of the victim as well as if the shooter has been arrested. Reporting live in Durham, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
We're also working to get new information after a vehicle crashed into a mobile home in Wake County overnight. This was the scene off Old Stage Road near Lake Benson from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. You can see what looks to be like damage to the left that was left behind, and the car was seen loaded onto a tow truck. A neighbor told us the impact was so hard she felt it in her own home and saw the car in her neighbor's bedroom.
Really lucky, because if it wouldn't be for the tree, that car could have go to our house too.
That scene say there were injuries, but it's unclear how badly anyone was hurt. Neighbors tell us they want to see something done to stop these frequent crashes.
New this morning, a group of UNC students and faculty plan to rally today in support of a professor. Dwayne Dixon was put on administrative leave after he was accused of advocating for political violence. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live in Chapel Hill for us this morning. Kelsey.
Laura, that rally is scheduled to start a little bit later this afternoon here on campus. Dwayne Dixon teaches Asian and Middle Eastern studies here at UNC, and organizers say putting him on administrative leave is suppressing free speech. In a statement, Dixon said the action taken against him goes beyond a single person, saying this is an issue that affects all of us. WRAL reported on Dixon in the past, including 2 arrests at protests. In 2018, he was charged with assaulting someone during the toppling of the Silent Sam statue on UNC's campus. Now, that case was dismissed. Then a year before that, Dixon was accused of carrying a semi-automatic rifle during a protest. Those charges were also dropped. Several websites have tied Dixon to a far-left group. Now, the rally is scheduled to start this afternoon at 12:30 right here outside of the South Building on campus. This is where the university's chancellor's office is, and we'll be sure to keep you updated as we have reached out to UNC about this rally that's scheduled for later this afternoon. We're still waiting to hear back from them. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Chapel Hill.
Our news continues now with this live look at Capitol Hill as a government shutdown is underway. The first since 2018. Lawmakers failed to pass a spending bill before the midnight deadline overnight. Lawmakers are expected to be back in session today to keep discussing a stopgap funding bill. Now, yesterday, the Senate failed to reach 60 votes on a bill that would have funded the government past the current fiscal year. A temporary bill that would have pushed the deadline back to October 31st also failed. Federal agencies officially stopped receiving money this morning. In North Carolina, 200 state employees have been furloughed as a result, and we're working to find out how many more people will be impacted here at home. Thousands of federal workers will stay on the job without pay until a bill is passed. Critical services like those involving public safety will continue. Now, cuts to North Carolina's Medicaid program are taking effect today after a deadline for a new state budget came and went. Governor Josh Stein says the lack of a budget leaves the program millions of dollars short. State lawmakers debated 2 plans to boost Medicaid funding last week, but nothing was approved. The state has warned hospitals and doctors the funding cuts could now be passed on to them. Political science professor David McClellan says this could mean the difference of doctors being able to stay in the program.
And if that were to happen, that there is no restoration of funding to the reimbursement program, that could mean the doctors drop out of the Medicaid program, which means that people have less access.
Republican lawmakers have pushed back, though, saying cuts should not be needed immediately. We have full coverage of the funding fight in the NC Capitol section of our website, WRAL.com.
New this morning, a third person has been arrested in connection to an August shooting in Wake County. The Wake County Sheriff's Office says 19-year-old Raul Castillo Acevedo Jr. has been arrested and charged. 18-year-old Angelo Corina Rodriguez and 24-year-old Axo Seguian Diaz were also previously charged. The deputies say the 3 men shot at multiple cars and homes on Moonglow Drive near Pool Road. This happened back on August 24th. A juvenile was also taken into custody. The deputies say the investigation is still ongoing.
Happening today, Southport's police chief says he plans to release the names of all 8 victims in Saturday's shooting. 3 people were killed in that shooting and 5 others were hurt. Family members have confirmed one of the victims killed was 64-year-old Joy Rogers, who moved to Southport about a year ago. Former U.S. Marine Nigel Edge is facing murder charges in that shooting. Edge is accused of firing from a boat into crowds at the American Fish Company in Southport. His next court appearance is in 2 weeks.
The Chatham County Sheriff's Office and Animal Resource Center is kicking off a free adoption event today. This is part of the nationwide Empty the Shelters event. The Animal Resource Center will offer free adoptions for cats and dogs starting today. That's on Renaissance Drive in Pittsboro. The event runs through October 15th.
Oceanside collapse. Several homes have fallen into the ocean and the Outer Banks as hurricanes churn in the Atlantic, while people who live there say not enough is being done to protect these homes.
Plus, crossing a line. That's what the Durham mayor is saying about a threatening letter with powder that was sent to the police chief. The security changes being made after this incident.
And we're waking up to cloud cover again. Take a live look here at RDU. We may see a bit of sunshine breaking out this afternoon. I'll show you when we'll likely see it coming up. 8:13. Look at Boone this morning, looking pretty with some sunshine, some blue skies there. And you can see in the distance past King Street, just a hint of color, but not much. This is definitely not going to be their peak weekend. We are looking over the next 7 days at the peak of color starting to show up in some of the higher elevations. So moderate to high color. And those higher elevations are going to be places like Grandfather Mountain, of course, up here outside of Boone, which is closer to 6,000 feet. So 5,000 to 6,000 feet is going to be where the color will be this weekend and the next weekend, especially around, say, Mount Mitchell and then down in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. As we get through the middle of the month of October, we'll start to see some of that pretty color in Boone, and then mid to late October is when we tend to see the color closer to Asheville. Every leaf season is a little bit different. Meteorologist Chris Michaels coming up to talk more about what's affecting our leaf season this year.
All right, Elizabeth, boy, I-40 westbound coming in from Garner, Johnson County, a real trouble spot this morning. Take a look at what we're talking about. A crash on the I-440 interchange in Southeast Raleigh cleared about an hour ago, but we're still seeing these lingering delays. You're looking at a 10-minute delay if you're coming in from Garner, Highway 36 over to the Beltline. That southern loop, the Beltline, also getting jammed up as well. You're looking at a 12-minute delay at this hour.
All right, well, going, gone. High surf in Buxton claimed 5 homes in 45 minutes Tuesday, and WRAL has just learned a 6th one fell last night.
House number 5. 1, 2.
A Buxton resident, Brian Harris, sent us this video, and he says he's worried things will only get worse over the next few days and months. The people who live there now believe that this was the storm that will reshape the town forever. This now means 18 homes on the Outer Banks have collapsed into the ocean in the last 5 years. Residents say this could have been prevented.
It just wiped out 40 years of the ocean front.
This is the time something's got to be done. I mean, they can't keep kicking this can down the road.
Dare County confirmed tons of new sand will be brought in sometime next year, replacing some of the losses from Imelda, Hurricane Erin, and other storms. Investigators are trying to track down who sent hate mail to the head of Durham's police department. Chief Patrice Andrews received a letter filled with racial slurs and a powder substance. Investigators determined the powder was harmless. Police say the threats and racial slurs in the letter were directed at Andrews. The threats come about 2 weeks after she posted about the response to Charlie Kirk's death on her personal Facebook page. She shared that she was upset with some people's comments about Kirk because she believed some of his commentary was offensive. Durham Mayor Leo Williams supported Andrews' right to free speech and says these threats are different.
It did cross the line. This is a threat. This is a threat. And we will find them. We will do everything we can to find them.
And the incident has prompted Mayor Williams to change their own operations in his office. They will no longer open letters with no return address.
Governor Josh Stein signing a new bill into law that lawmakers hope will lead a fewer trips to the DMV, I should say. The new law allows you to renew your license online more frequently. Lawmakers passed the bill after numerous complaints that DMV offices all across the state were overcrowded with very long wait lines. We've covered this story for quite some time now. Governor Stein also signing a bill approving disaster relief funding for victims of Tropical Storm Chantal, which flooded parts of Orange County this summer. Check out our story at WRAL.com for more information on both of these new laws. It's October in North Carolina, and that means leaves will be changing. Meteorologist Chris Michaels looks into the 3 key factors driving foliage and when we should expect peak colors, Chris.
Yeah, it's almost that time. Elizabeth was starting to look at when we should see that in the mountains, and it all has to do with that big word we learned in elementary school, photosynthesis. It's that whole transfer of energy between the sun and plants. And so as we lose sunlight and the amount of rain decreases, well, you start to get less green color and more of those shades of yellow, orange, and red. Pardon me, in October, we lose an average of 2 minutes, 13 seconds per day of daylight. So that's what helps to accelerate the leaf change. There's also the difference in elevation that we've got from west to east. According to the folks at Explore Fall, colder, drier weather means an earlier change, whereas warmer, wetter weather means quite the opposite. And so that's why in September, we were starting to notice even here some leaves changing. Then we warmed up and we turned a little wet this past week. So on average here at home, the leaves really peak in early November. But if you're planning a trip to the mountains over the course of the next couple weeks, now is the time to head up there. We're looking at the government shutdown, what that means for some of the national parks in our state. We're detailing that right now on WRAL.com. Just search Ask the Meteorologist.
Yeah, Chris, I'm already planning my next trip to the mountains. Thank you. Scammers will do just about anything to get your money, and law enforcement in our area wants you to be aware. The Edgecombe County Sheriff's Office warned residents about people impersonating their deputies. Residents are getting phone calls asking for payment through Cash App. That should be your first red flag, right? The calls are coming from the number on your screen here, so keep in mind your local sheriff's office will never ask you for money through Cash App. The town of Apex is getting some love on the national level. A new Wallet Hub ranking put Apex as the 3rd best small city or town to live in America. It ranked #1 for economic health. That metric measures things like job growth and how many people are living in poverty. Apex was the highest ranked place in North Carolina. Well, maybe today might be a good day to finally get outdoors and enjoy all that places like Apex has to offer. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tracking our forecast today. Elizabeth.
We take a live look here from the North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences. Definitely some sunshine here shining on the Daily Planet. And we see blue sky trying to peek through, too. So I think that we'll end up with a mix of sun and clouds today, but nice to see some of that sunshine peeking out. A lot of the computer models wanted to hold on to clouds for most of the day, and it looks like we're starting to see a few breaks. Still a few showers well to our east, way down closer to the coast, but at this point, we're looking nice and dry. This is a look at our cloud cover forecast, anywhere from about 75 to 80% of the sky covered with clouds right now. And then later this afternoon, it may decrease to 60 to 65% of the sky covered with clouds. So definitely more clouds and sunshine, but it should be a pretty pleasant afternoon. It'll be breezy like it was yesterday. Our wind is coming out of the northeast, steady at about 5 to 10 to 14 there in Fayetteville, but starting to gust a little bit in the Triangle, gusting up to 18. We'll see winds gusting maybe 20 to 25 miles per hour this afternoon, very similar to what we saw yesterday. We'll still continue to have some coastal impacts, especially along the Outer Banks, where we could see some high surf, some coastal flooding, and of course a gale warning, which means we could see gusts over 35 miles per hour. Of course, yesterday was an especially rough day along the Outer Banks. In Buxton, 5 houses fell into the ocean. So thanks to Donnie Bowers for sending us this photo. I know that's really heartbreaking to people who own those homes. We're continuing to look at both of these systems trekking away from land, and so those impacts along the Outer Banks will lessen over time. We're looking at Imelda becoming Category 2 and moving right over Bermuda, so they'll likely have some major impacts, but Umberto is likely to become just a low-pressure system. It'll still have some strong winds, but it's definitely moving away. Gale warning along the northern coast, especially along the Outer Banks for today, and some coastal flood alerts as well. So still some impacts lingering. What we're going to see, our big story going forward, is going to be the chilly mornings that we'll see. Overnight lows in the low 50s for the next couple of mornings, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, that heavy congestion continues and persists on those I-40 westbound lanes coming in from Garner and Johnston County this morning. You're looking at the live look from I-40 and Jones Sausage Road. You're looking at a 7-minute delay between Highway 36 and the Beltline. And once you get past that congestion on that section of I-40 westbound, you get around Lake Wheeler Road, that southern loop of the Beltline, you're looking at a 7-minute delay. Now, if you want to check out the northern loop of the Beltline between the I-87, I-440 interchange all the way over to Wade Avenue, you're looking at a 9-minute delay this morning. So really nothing that's going to make you terribly late. Here's that look at that southern loop of the Beltline, I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road, as we mentioned. That's going to take you about a 6-minute delay between there and getting over to US 1. The other troubled spot is over in Durham, 885 to be exact. If you're going into Durham this morning, you're seeing the congestion building around TW Alexander Drive. You're looking at a 4-minute delay. If you're leaving Durham using 885 to get to I-40 this morning, you see the congestion build around the Durham Freeway and the 885 interchange. You're looking at a 4-minute delay. As far as other routes heading into Durham this morning, very little to no delays. Nothing really that's going to make you too late, terribly late at this hour.
Your time now is 8:23. Crime bill decision. Governor Josh Stein is running out of time to figure out if he will sign legislation that would restart executions. The reservations he still has on the bill, plus car seat integrity. 5 on your side will explain what this means coming up next.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. The time is 8:26. I'm Laura Levine. Let's bring in meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner with a look at the forecast.
We're looking cloudy in Wilson right now. The whirligigs are spinning around. It's going to be another breezy day like it was yesterday, with winds gusting around 20 to 25 miles per hour. 65 in Wilson as well as Durham, 66 in Fayetteville. We're beginning to see a little bit of sunshine breaking through the clouds. If you're heading out to walk the dog this morning, our humidity has dropped nicely. Our dew points are down into the 50s, so it's comfortable in the mid 60s, and our highs this afternoon will be in the upper 70s. We should see at least some sunshine breaking out this afternoon. Tomorrow morning turns chilly with lows in the low 50s.
Durham police are investigating a shooting that left a man dead. Video from the breaking news tracker shows the scene near Holloway Street. Police say a young man was shot and killed around midnight. Witnesses tell us they heard multiple gunshots. Plus, cuts to North Carolina's Medicaid program are taking effect today. Governor Josh Stein says the lack of a budget leaves the program millions of dollars short. State lawmakers debated 2 plans to boost Medicaid funding last week, but nothing was approved.
Here at Traffic Center, boy, we've seen that really congested area on I-40 westbound coming in from Garner or Johnston County this morning. This is the usual congestion we see this time of the morning. You're looking at a 17-minute delay. If you're coming in from Garner, Johnston County, I would recommend using the Highway 70 as an alternate route. Even that southern loop of the Beltline, you're looking at a 6-minute delay. I'll have another update at the bottom of the hour over on Fox 50.
And next on Fox 50, hundreds of state employees left without work as the government shuts down. And ahead on today, Sheryl Crow rocks the Today Show. Coming up next.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking news, a deadly shooting in Durham. Within the last hour, police cleared the scene near Holloway Street. We hear from witnesses who saw it all happen.
And the rain is over for now. We'll talk about sunshine starting to break out across our area and when our temperatures start to drop.
And voicing their opinion today, students are gathering to support a professor who's been put on leave, what organizers are calling a suppression of free speech. Lots to get to in this 8:30 half hour. Thanks for being with us. I'm Ken Smith.
And I'm Laura Levine. It is the first of the month, October 1st, and we're bringing it in after seeing a really tropical storm and tropical systems move away from the coast. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner with a look at the forecast now. Elizabeth.
So this morning we started off with a few sprinkles in our southern counties. That rain now at this point is much closer to the coast, and we're beginning to see a few breaks in the clouds. We take a look at our hour-by-hour rain chances, kept at 20% chance in just for the next hour or so, but it definitely looks dry for us as we head through the afternoon with some sunshine. This is a look at our cloud cover forecast. So once we hit lunchtime, it looks like 60 to 70% of the sky will be covered with clouds, which means we'll have some sunshine peeking through. We may not completely clear, but you'll definitely see some sun peeking through the clouds. Right now in North Hills, you can see some cloud cover, but a little bit of blue sky there as well. 65 currently, and our dew point's down at 56. That's a very comfortable feeling air mass, no longer feeling tropical out there. Temperatures climb into the mid to upper 70s this afternoon, and our next big change is the cooler temperatures that arrive tomorrow morning. I'll show you how chilly it will feel.
Boy, Elizabeth, we've got the persistent congestion on I-40 westbound coming in from Garner, Johnston County this morning. You can see it right here, that exit-only lane that takes you onto those 440 westbound lanes. There was a crash earlier near the 440, I-40 interchange there in southeast Raleigh, and still have those lingering delays. Right now, believe it or not, you're looking at just a 3-minute delay between Highway 36 and the Beltline. But once you get past that intersection, that section, and you come around Lake Wheeler Road, you're looking at a 7-minute delay, and here's why. The usual morning congestion that we see this time of morning on that southern loop of the Beltline. So keep that in mind. Now, if you're preferring to take the northern loop of the Beltline, here's what you're looking at. It's still heavy congestion as well. Between the I-87 440 interchange all the way over to Wade Avenue, you're looking at a 10-minute delay. So depending on whether you're in a rush or not, you might want to take the I-540 interchange as an alternate route. Coming into the capital city, if you're coming in from Apex this morning, US 1 North, we're seeing some congestion building around Highway 55 and US 1. You're looking at a 17-minute delay. Just a 2-minute delay if you're coming in from Nightdale this morning, and 5 minutes coming in from Wake Forest. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
New this morning, we have learned a deadly shooting in Wake Forest started as a domestic dispute. The suspect is due in court today, charged with murder. Court records show Hairston Urena Morales was arrested last night. It all played out near Mill Dam Road and Winter Jasmine Lane. Neighbors tell WRAL they heard around 5 shots and saw someone outside the window. 40-year-old Josefina Taveras was taken to the hospital where she died. We are working to learn the relationship between the suspect and the victim.
We're following some breaking news right now. Part of a road is shut down as police investigate an overnight shooting that left 1 man dead in Durham. Officers say the shooting happened on Lathrop Street near Holloway Street just before midnight. Lathrop Street is closed from North Guthrie Street to North Briggs Avenue while officers investigate. WRAL's Allie Cadlebar live at that scene this morning with what we know so far. Allie.
Within the past hour, that scene cleared and that stretch on Lathrop is now open. We saw officers and forensics pick up several evidence markers scattered on that front porch right there. Witnesses tell us that's where this shooting happened. Take a look at this video from the WRAL breaking news tracker. This was around 2 a.m. when we saw detectives investigate this scene. We know from Durham police that a young man was shot and killed here on Lathrop Street around midnight. We spoke with a neighbor. He was in his car in his driveway when this all happened. Listen to this.
I'm like, gunshots, fireworks. I'm like, nah, these ain't no fireworks here. And so I like lean back as far as possible. Thankfully, like I wasn't in the crossfire, but they're like right next to my car.
Very surreal moments. That's what he describes this as. We're working to find out the identity of the victim as well as if any of the shooter or shooters have been arrested. Reporting live in Durham, Allie Cadlebar, WRAL News.
We're trying to learn some new information after a vehicle crashed into a mobile home in Wake County overnight. Check this video out from the WRAL breaking news tracker from around 11:30 last night. This is off of Old Stage Road near Lake Benson. You can see what looks like some of the damage left behind, and the car was being seen loaded onto a tow truck. We spoke to neighbors who say they felt the impact in their home next door. They say they were worried the homeowner was hurt since the car crashed into her room, but she says she's okay. Now they want more to be done to stop these frequent crashes.
Yes, this has been happened multiple times already. A lot of neighbors got damage on their trailers already, and we were trying to see if somebody can build some other type of protection, at least to the people who live on the side of the street.
Neighbors also tell us they saw what looked like deputies helping the driver out of the car and that person being taken away in an ambulance. Highway Patrol says there were injuries, but it is unclear how badly anyone was hurt. We have reached out for more information.
I want to give you a live look now at Capitol Hill this morning as the government shutdown is now in effect since midnight. This is the first government shutdown since 2018. Now, Congress has been negotiating for weeks on a funding plan, but as the deadline got closer, they struggled to find a final compromise, and Republicans failed to get the 60 Democratic votes needed to pass a bill. When it comes to health care, Democrats want to reverse Medicaid cuts and stop enhanced Obamacare subsidiaries from expiring.
We need to stop these premiums from going up dramatically.
They're arguing a December policy debate for a September funding issue.
Lawmakers are expected to be back in session today to keep discussing a stopgap funding bill.
And as a result of the shutdown, federal agencies officially stopped receiving money this morning. The Congressional Budget Office estimates about 750,000 federal workers face furloughs. In North Carolina, 200 state employees have been furloughed as a result. Thousands of federal workers will stay on the job without pay until a bill is passed. And we are working to find out how many more people will be impacted here. So what will not change? We're going to break this down. Social Security checks will keep coming in. The mail will still arrive. VA medical facilities and clinics will stay open. And SNAP benefits will stay in place for at least 1 month. New this morning, some UNC students and faculty planned a rally today in support of a professor. The school placed Dwayne Dixon on administrative leave after he was accused of advocating for political violence. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is in Chapel Hill with what we know about Professor Dixon.
A rally is scheduled to start here on campus a little bit later this afternoon. Dwayne Dixon teaches Asian and Middle Eastern studies here at UNC, and protesters say that putting him on administrative leave suppresses free speech. In a statement, Dixon said the action taken against him goes beyond a single person, saying this is an issue that affects all of us. WRAL reported on Dixon in the past, including 2 arrests at protest. In 2018, he was charged with assaulting someone during the toppling of the Silent Sam statue on UNC's campus. That case was dismissed. And a year before that, Dixon was accused of carrying a semi-automatic rifle during a protest. Those charges were also dropped. Several websites have tied Dixon to a far-left group. We'll be sure to keep you updated on that rally that's scheduled to start this afternoon at 12:30. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Chapel Hill.
WRAL has reached out to UNC officials for any comment about today's rally. So far, we have not heard back.
This morning, we're working to learn more information about what led to someone being shot with a pellet gun in Anger. Anger police say they got a call about a disturbance around 7:30 last night in the parking lot of the Carly C's IGA off North Raleigh Street. When officers arrived, they found someone had fired shots with a pellet gun. We're told the victim had very minor injuries. Police have charged the suspect with assault with a deadly weapon. We've reached out to Anger police to find out who that suspect is and how the victim is doing.
A man is facing charges after a missing child was found in Cumberland County. This all started when deputies in Columbus County got a report about the missing child on Monday in Whiteville. They say their investigation took them to an apartment complex in Fayetteville where they found the child. The child was taken to the hospital for treatment. Deputies arrested and charged Brian Riley with crimes against nature, indecent liberties with the child, and kidnapping. The sheriff's office says more charges are expected to be filed against him.
Well, time is running out for Governor Josh Stein to sign into law or veto a new crime bill passed by the state legislature. The governor told our NC Capitol team he still has not made up his mind. Last month's deadly stabbing on the Charlotte area transit system inspired state lawmakers to pass a bill with stricter rules for bail and to restart executions. Governor Stein says he's not convinced this new bill would actually stop crime, and he'd like to see more investments in addressing the root cause of crime and mental health.
It's an immensely complicated subject. How do we promote public safety? And I want to make sure that the law is making us safer instead of making us less safe.
The bill passed largely along party lines. You can learn more about what's in it in the NC Capitol section of WRAL.com.
Schools School will resume as normal today after a fight at a Durham high school. A school resource officer had to use a taser to break up this fight. The sheriff's office said the fight broke out at around 11:30 yesterday morning at Southern High. It involved at least a dozen people. No one was hurt. The sheriff's office is looking into whether charges will be filed. The officer's use of a taser will be reviewed, which is standard procedure.
Brand new testimony, the man accused of setting a Virginia city councilman on fire told investigators he did it because the councilman was having an affair with his wife. Shotzi Buck Hayes faced attempted first-degree murder charges. He's accused of setting Danville City Councilman Lee Vogler on fire back in July, leaving Vogler in the ICU with life-threatening burns. A co-worker of Councilman Vogler answered a knock at the door, then told him to call 911, saying he poured gas on me. Vogler's wife said her husband suffered third-degree burns on over 60% of his body.
So he set someone on fire? He did. Okay. Did he indicate where that was, why that happened?
He did.
What did he say?
He stated that he had set the person on fire who had had an affair with his wife.
Hayes' case is set to be presented to a grand jury later this month. If convicted, he could spend the rest of his life in prison.
Your time now is 8:42. Still ahead, car seat crash rules. A car crash can leave you questioning what's safe to keep using afterward, especially when it comes to your child's car seat. 5 on your side shows you when to keep it and when to replace it.
Also, meet our Teacher of the Week. We'll tell you why teaching 3rd grade at Middle Creek Elementary School is so inspiring for her.
And storms are out, low humidity is in. You're taking a live look from downtown Cary Park this morning. Just ahead, meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner times out when gusty wind blows and a breath of fresh air and how long it will last.
It's 8:45. Look at this pretty view of Sanford. Lots of blue sky on the left side of the screen and some clouds there on the right. We're seeing more and more sunshine starting to break out across our viewing area this morning. I would expect it to be partly to mostly cloudy through the bulk of the day today. Heading out the door right now, temperatures are mostly in the mid-60s, 65 in Durham and Holly Springs, 65 in Cary, 64 in Garner. Temperatures will be comfortable this afternoon. We've already seen our dew point drop into the 50s, so that feels very comfortable and fall-like. And our temperatures this afternoon only climb into the mid to upper 70s. If you're going to be exercising after work, it'll feel comfortable with low 70s. Speaking of comfortable, if you like wearing a jacket, we're back to jacket weather starting tomorrow morning. I'll show you how chilly it'll feel coming up, Ken.
Big fan of that. I'll tell you, if you're coming in from Apex, you're not a big fan of this. Those are the US 1 northbound lanes in the distance there, heading into the capital city from Apex. That's the exit on the US 1 southbound to Williams Road there in Apex. So you're looking at a 9-minute delay if you're coming in from Apex this morning. If you're coming from Durham between I-885 to the capital city, you're looking at an 11-minute delay, just a 5-minute delay for our friends in Wake Forest coming into the capital city.
After a car crash, most of us know to check for injuries and damage to our vehicles. But what about your child's car seat? 5 on your side's Ashley Rowe explains when a car seat is no longer safe.
A crash can compromise the safety of your child's car seat, but it can be hard to tell because damage and structural issues are not always visible. Consumer Reports says car seats need to be replaced if they've been involved in a moderate to severe crash, but you can keep using a seat after a minor crash. CR's Emily Thomas was recently involved in an accident and explains there's a checklist from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration to help you figure out the severity of a crash. If any of these criteria are not met, it's time to get a new car seat.
In my case, the car seats looked fine. There was no visible damage. There were also no injuries sustained in the crash. The impact was at the rear of the vehicle, so the doors closest to the car seats were not damaged. However, both vehicles were towed and there was airbag deployment. So this counts as a moderate to severe crash and the car seats have to be replaced.
Some child car seat manufacturers say you should replace their car seats after any crash. You should follow the instructions of your car seat manufacturer. If the seats need to be replaced, talk to your insurance company. They might be able to cover the cost. And make sure to dispose of the old seat so no one else uses it. Ashley Rowe, 5 on your side.
Well, starting today, you now have more options if you think you have the flu. Under an order from Governor Josh Stein, you can now get tested for the flu at a retail pharmacy. If the test comes back positive, the pharmacist can treat you for it without sending you to a doctor for a prescription. Now, this applies to anyone ages 5 and older. The move is intended to expand access to care in communities without urgent care or other clinics.
Our teacher of the week is a 30-year classroom veteran with no plans to retire anytime soon. You're about to meet a third grade teacher who was inspired to follow in the footsteps of her own third grade teacher.
A trick would be to look for 2 R's, like where are 2 R's together?
Karen DiGiacomo is a third grade teacher at Middle Creek Elementary School in Wake County.
We just started reading about that.
DiGiacomo says teaching third grade is perfect for her because when she was the same age as her current students, she says she had the best third grade teacher ever.
She was just so positive and made me feel so good about myself, even if I made a mistake. If I didn't understand something, she was there for me. She just was a support, and I loved it. And I thought, I want to do that for kids.
And she's been doing that for generations of students for 30 years, 15 of which here at Middle Creek.
Just seeing them smile, sending them home, feeling good about themselves, and learning something new that they're excited about, it's wonderful.
That caring and nurturing spirit.
Yeah, work together. That sounds perfect.
Ensures DiGiacomo's lasting impression on her third grade students.
Even watching them grow up and go to 4th grade, go to 5th grade, go to middle school, and hearing them talk about what they've learned, what they're using that I taught them to learn the next grade level, it's just the best.
Ms. DiGiacomo, you are WRAL's Teacher of the Week. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And your entire fan club is here.
Oh my gosh.
I love those moments. If you'd like to nominate a teacher, go to WRAL.com, enter Teacher of the Week in the search box.
The countdown is on to the North Carolina State Fair. Coming up in just about 10 minutes at 9 a.m., we will learn which new foods to expect this year. We'll have all the details on your deep fried favorites as soon as the information is released. You can watch our website for the complete list as well.
Oh, this North Carolina State Fair. I've already got my list. Tropical Delights, Fat Boys Barbecue.
Fat Boys for sure.
Cool Runnings. Oh, forget it.
It's going to take the whole 10 days to cover it all, right?
But for right now, breezy conditions today, yeah?
Yeah, we're starting to see some really nice weather, especially as we get into the day. Tomorrow is going to feel very much like fall. Still going to be breezy today, even though our rain is over. Still going to see some potentially breezy conditions. And some impacts may remain along the Outer Banks where 5 houses fell into the ocean yesterday. So we'll talk about what some of those impacts could be. Right now, we're looking at Hurricane Imelda with 90-mile-per-hour winds moving pretty fast to the northeast at 21 miles per hour. But the path of the storm still takes it right over Bermuda as a Category 2 storm. Not good news for folks in Bermuda. What we're seeing now with Umberto is it is really losing its tropical characteristics. It's just going to be a big old low pressure system moving to the northeast at about 14 miles per hour. Watch how the path of the storm just ends later on today. So the storm doesn't completely dissipate. It just becomes what we would call extratropical or no longer has tropical characteristics. So Imelda will continue to move off to the north and east, and so will the remnants of Umberto. And what we're looking at is some clouds mixed with sun right now. No rain falling. Looking at this morning, our cloud cover has been about 70 to 80% of the sky. Later on this afternoon, about say 60 to 70% of the sky is likely to be covered with clouds. So more clouds and sun, but still some sunshine peeking through. You can see some blue sky right over North Hills, but it does look fairly cloudy. 65 is our temperature. Dew point's at 56, and that's very comfortable. Already we're seeing gusts out of the northeast to 18 to 20 miles per hour in the triangle, and we'll see that continuing on and off through the afternoon, anywhere from 15 to 21, maybe 25 miles per hour. A nice drop in the way it feels outside, feeling very comfortable with that dew point in the mid-50s, and that continues. And here's what's new. Tomorrow morning we'll feel very much cooler than this morning. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, even Sunday morning, our morning lows are in the 50s. 57 is our normal low. And speaking of Sunday, boy, the weekend is looking really good, nice and comfortable Saturday and Sunday with lots of sunshine. And between now and then, the weather is nice. As a matter of fact, just a small chance of some showers early next week.
Elizabeth, thank you. Before we go to break, here are the winning lottery numbers, and we'll get another check on weather and traffic next.